Dr. Ruto goes berserk in defending the corruption at the dams. The Agri-Ruto now say it is all propaganda by people who want the residents of Kimarel and Arol to stay without water.
All these dams are supposed to provide the single most important resource for the turning around of our pastoral arid Kenya, and that is water. Because of the challenges of development we have in this region, water, mega dams, will actually be the game changer in arid and semi-arid Kenya.
We are in government, we are in parliament, and the 105 of us, plus our 10 governors, every legislation, every policy, whether it is census, whether it is boundary review, whether it is a referendum, we will have our own position and we will have our own questions. And Your Excellency, unajua siku hizi Kenya kila mtu amerefuka. Siku hizi kila kwa hii referendum hakuna mtu anakuja kutuambia sisi lazima itakuwa mwaka hii. Kwani wakati tunasema lazima itakuwa mwaka hii, wewe ndo, do you own the pastoralist? We have our question, we have our timelines, and we will defend each and every constituency, every ward, and every county. Hatuwezi kubali, na mimi nataka wanisikie leo, hatuwezi kubali tupoteze ward moja, constituency moja, na margin ya county yetu.
We will not allow people whose signature is keeping people in the slavery of poverty and fighting every development initiative using fake data, fake news, and false information to try and scuttle the development agenda that we have set for our country. As they weave together these narratives and create these falsehoods, let them not target William Ruto or individuals. This is not about a person, personalities, or Mandazinomics. This is about 100,000 people in Aurora and Kimarel who will get drinking water. This is about tens of thousands of land that will be turned into agricultural land. This is about changing the lives of people who are today victims of cattle rustling and making them have a living and a future. That is what we must focus on. Forget about focusing on the petty politics of 2022 and William Ruto and some Mandazinomics you have been telling us about. It is unfortunate that we have people who are beneficiaries of the slavery of poverty, and they do not want any meaningful development in arid and semi-arid areas through these water dams. And they have weaved together a narrative to try and criminalize and bastardize these development initiatives.
This conference has very good thematic theme. We will discuss violent extremism and radicalization, which has affected those of the counties that border Somalia and Ethiopia. We want to be part and parcel of the people who will defend our national security. We will stand with the president and the deputy president of the government in making sure that our nation is safe. Number two, we want to address the element of cattle rustling and conflict among ourselves. That is our business the next 2 days.
We should cut those investments. For instance, like the dams that we have in our region, because water is life. We should continue cutting those kind of projects seriously and with a lot of zeal, so that, you know, in this world they are jealous. And we should continue cutting ourselves on it. There's a lot that are happening. I could read a lot in the social media. But let us put on to ourselves that the future of the people depends on what we invest today. So all that the national government and the county government has put in place, all the plans that are in place now, if you don't card and take serious consideration into them, the future will charge us harshly. And the only result that will give us development is devolution. So we are going to cut devolution. So that the issue of our road dam, the issue of the new dams, the Amaya dams, and all the dams in our regions. We want to appreciate the national government for having actually planned. We shall cut it. And if there is one or two, maybe one person who has long hands, let them be taken to court. Let's not discuss just like a football match. Let it go to the corridors of justice. So our people could concentrate in development, not really looking for newspapers and going through Facebooks.
The national government has prioritized development for northern Kenya through Vision 2030 flagship projects, including the LAPSSET. Recently, the World Bank through NEDI projects. In partnership with Frontier County Development Corporation, the national government is undertaking infrastructural projects exceeding Kenya shillings 120 billion. Development can only be achieved if there is unity of purpose. And I'm happy today they have come up with a coin that a new tribe has been formed called pastoralists. No longer the Turkanas, the Marakwets, the Somalis, the Ormas, and the Boranas, and the likes.
Farm. We want to discuss more of our issues. We want to continue and approach the government and ensure that our interests are put in place. The first issue that we want to discuss, of course, is census. And this morning, we had talked about pastoralists are not normally counted well. Their statistics are never captured because we are nomadic. We are never in one place. And the policy of census is only to address settled communities. We live in mountains, in fact, and we cross borders, both international and counties. So we want to appeal to you as we discuss things and as we also to continue finding ways of telling our people to be counted.
We are here about the referendum. We have not even heard the questions that have been put about the referendum. What we know is that the Constitution of Kenya has provisions for amendment either through parliamentary initiative or through referendum according to Article 256 and 255. But what is happening now, I think, is a bit of confusion. But when the time comes, we will improve this Constitution to our benefit, to the benefit of Kenyans, not to the benefit of individuals. Your Excellency, Deputy President, you are our friend. This is the first time you are in Garissa. Be with us so that we can work together as friends for the good of ourselves and for the good of this country.
We know what it means to develop this nation. We have an agenda, we have a direction. We know what we want. We are part and parcel, and we are not visitors. Some people keep talking to us like, oh, we have come around, so-and-so will give way, so-and-so will be accommodated. Give way to who? You think we came here to become, mere visitors in this nation? I want to challenge leaders who come from pastoral areas. Let's take our position of authority. Let's not walk. When we get to Nairobi, we have arrived in Kenya. We are not going there to be apologetic to anybody. We are taking over Kenya. We are taking over our regions. We have a right to lead this country like other people have a right to lead this country. And even those who are giving us lectures are the same people who are oppressing persons from marginalized areas. They get people from their own areas, they can say what they want to do. Hypocrisy. It can relate with anybody in this country. But when you get somebody from a marginalized area, say Coast, for example, it is quick to use political party machines to expel them because they don't have the opportunity or a chance to make a decision they want to go. So I want to tell these characters who pretend to be agents of democracy, and they are loads of presiding over the worst dictatorship in this republic, that we will not watch our colleagues being sacrificed, being tortured, being tested in this country as if they don't belong to this Kenya. And for a political party, by a political party that lives under contradictions. You come to government or to opportunity to work with government, You are in every corner calling ministers, calling people, asking for this deal and the other deal, asking for this money and the other money. And then you go for a small person who is fighting for development in their region, you say he must be expelled because he's working with an officer in that government. What kind of hypocrisy is that? There are people who lived in this nation for so many years taking advantage of marginalized and pastoralist areas. When they wake up one morning and see that development is taking place in these places that had been left for 50 years. And I'm saying this because my county is under scathing attack by agents of poverty, men and women who came to government thinking that, all of us thinking that they were extending a hand of greeting, but it was a hand of robbery. And they want to come and rob our areas because they are marginalized of the development that we are beginning to see under Jubilee government, in the disguise that they are fighting corruption.
Government has also prioritized opening up of this region to investment through the LAPSSET and Northern Corridor projects, all of which are set to bring fast-tracked development and prosperity to Kenya's pastoralist counties. Our government believes firmly that economic development should be undertaken with sensitivity to the culture and traditional way of life of communities. It is for that reason that government has sought to support and enhance pastoralism in the 21st century through the rollout of a livestock insurance program for the first time in our nation's history and also in the East African region. This program provides sustainable livelihoods for the people of the region and mitigates against perennial weather and climate changes, thus ensuring wealth is not lost through the ravages of nature. I have often remarked that your counties are the pace setters in showing how devolution can be positive and bring development to the grassroots. This is and should be a point of pride for all of you. However, as we celebrate devolution, we must entrench accountability and ethos of good governance in how our counties are run. We should endeavor to commit every single coin to the provision of public goods and services and providing our people with an enabling environment to power their own passions.
Talk was seen to be aimed at Raila Odinga, whom he accuses of disintegrating Jubilee agenda of development.